Hi, and welcome to this week's Social Media Switch Off with me, Trina Kavanagh-Thomas. This is about using social media in a purposeful and meaningful way. So a bit more intention, so you get something like really good out of it and really beneficial. So we're not looking at any negative aspects or anything. And it's helping you learn to bridge the gap between either your work, your life, or your health. And today I have the beautiful Victoria Gregory who's joining me. You know what can I say? Just an amazing, multi-talented businesswoman. She has multiple businesses. She is a mentor. She's just grew like in a wonderful cleaning business. She's in health and wellness as well. I don't know what else to say, because she's a mom, homeschooling. What can I say?
Yeah, lots of hats.
Yeah, lots of hats. But you know what? Doing a bloody amazing job. Amazing job.
Oh, thank you.
So because we kind of said we're just going to wing this today. We're just going to see where it goes. Both of us don't really plan a lot. We just kind of just go with it. And I think sometimes when we just go with it, they're like the best things in life. So the first thing that I want to ask you, what made you get into what you're doing now? What made you start up your businesses in the first place?
So I initially got into my first business when my oldest daughter, who's now 8, was just 6 weeks old. Probably a bit of a time to start a business, but I realised quite quickly that having a new baby and going back to work full time just wasn't going to work for me. The job that I had previous to having my daughter, it was funny hours, like long shifts. Sometimes I'd have to work like 6 a.m. or finish at 10 p.m. and it wasn't even going to fit in with childcare hours. Even if I wanted to pay like £4 an hour to look after my daughter, like no childcare opens at like 6 a.m. or 10 p.m. So it was just not going to work for me. And I was really, really lucky that I found a really great network marketing actually, which I am still with, although not as focused as I used to be, because what that gave me was a bit of a, I suppose, a pause for being self-employed. And I didn't quite realise how much of an entrepreneur I was until I got the sort of taste for it. Actually got into starting my second business, so the housekeeping company. When did I get involved? So it was when Tilly, who my eldest, who was 6 weeks old when I started my first business, she went to school in the September after she was 4 or 5, I can't remember, 5. Because I built obviously anyone involved in network marketing knows that it is like very flexible. You do have to put the time and effort in, but you can do it around your family and around all the commitments. So I'd had the whole of Tilly's preschool years off work, and I built my business in sort of the time, and then she was at school for 6 hours every day. All of a sudden, and I had all this time. I was like, I don't know what to do with myself, because I'm not really one for lounging around, not doing much. So in my infinite wisdom, I thought, right, well, I still need something that's flexible, that I can work around school. I still want to kind of like be my own boss. So I'm one of these freaks that loves cleaning. So initially, I was just going to start a little Facebook page and advertise myself for cleaning and do a little bit of local cleaning while Tilly was at school, just to sort of pass the time and a bit of extra money and fill in the day. But within 2 days of me starting my business page, I was fully booked 9 till 3, Monday to Friday. And then people started asking me if I was recruiting cleaners. So really quickly, it went from an idea to like a big team of like 20 plus cleaners.
Oh my God.
So that kind of happened. Yeah, it was really intense. The first year, I look back now, I don't even know how I got through it. I was like cleaning all day, doing all the admin at night, recruiting cleaners, doing inductions, wages, staff rotas, client contracts,
Wow.
service level agreements, like obviously every aspect of the business. It was just me, and I definitely don't know how I like managed to do it up that now. And I think I remember it.
Wow.
And I felt pregnant with Phoebe, so that was like something's going to have to give here. Which is when I promoted one of my best leaders to a team leader role, and we have a fantastic like working relationship now where we share a lot of the responsibility. And although it's still very much like bread and butter, very much involved in the business, I'm not physically cleaning for 6 hours every day. So obviously I'm at home now with my now 1-year-old, and obviously Tilly's off school.
Yeah.
So it's just as well. But I'm very involved, but from like the back end of it, I suppose you would say. Although I used to like to keep my hand in, I love cleaning. So I try to take on like the big end of tenancy cleans that we do. Are a bit sort of like ad hoc. So this Saturday I've got a big renovation clean.
Love it.
A client's had a house renovated, and there's 3 of us going to clean it. I'm like, me, if it's at the weekend I can do it because my partner's at home. So I know. So I do like to keep my hand in. And then how I got into becoming a sort of coach and mentor was I found myself, people were coming to me for business advice all the time anyway. I previously I've been heavily involved in networking, so I was involved in a couple of networking companies. I was in the Mums in Business Association networking group for 2 years, and loads of the women used to hang around at the end and just say, oh, I just won this by you, can I pick your brains, have some advice? And a few people said to me, oh, you should charge for this. And I was always a bit like, oh no, and obviously anyone involved in network marketing knows that you heavily mentor your team anyway as part of the business model.
Yes,
and absolutely. I had over like 200 people in my team. Yeah, so I had over 200 people in my team when I was at the sort of height of it. And so I was working with everybody, doing business plans, doing lots of group training, speaking at the big company events, all of this sort of thing. So I've always kind of just had a natural, and my corporate career before being self-employed was always in management. So I've always had a bit of a leadership kind of spark, I suppose. Love working with people, helping people. And it was during lockdown, the first lockdown in March, that I started to think, could I make a business of this? And then it was almost as if the universe aligned, and there'd been this coaching diploma that I'd had my eye on for a couple of years. And there was 1 or 2 reasons why I didn't. It kind of felt like it was quite a lot of it, quite a big investment. It was a lot of hours to do. It was like 88 classroom hours, then 44 hours like coaching practice, assignments, big long reading list. When I was doing the housekeeping on my own, there was just not enough hours in the day anyway. I kind of felt like I didn't have time for it, and then the investment as well. And it was almost like the universe is aligned in lockdown, because not only did I find myself with time, I say that I did have a baby and I was homeschooling, but I wasn't physically out of the house like ever. The coaching diploma became an online diploma. And it was a bit of a pilot, and the gentleman that runs the course sort of contacted me and said it was heavily reduced because it was online, and it was a bit of an experiment of whether it would work online or not, and did I want to be one of the first people to do it at a heavily reduced rate. So I was like, do you know what, I've got to do it. I'm never going to have the time or this sort of like the function again. With my form. Yeah, so with my 4-month-old baby bouncing on my knee, I somehow managed 88 hours on Zoom to do my diploma.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was intense. It was over those 88 hours, but they were quite a short space of time. Well, I think the first class was in May and the last class was in July, so it's like a couple of weeks for quite a long time. Couple months, and then obviously all the homework and the assignments and the practice hours and everything. So that's how I kind of got into it. And now we're still in lockdown, but it's great because it's all my coaching and mentoring's online anyway. So it works really well. So it's given me another way that I can like be in business Obviously it's not ideal, still got the kids here, it's still a bit chaotic, but you know, there are slots of time in each day that I can utilize if I'm organized. Like right now doing this interview, my 1-year-old's napping.
but that's the thing, isn't it? We, you know, when you've got a lot on your plate, right, you just try and do as much as what you possibly can, but as much as what you humanly can, without losing it. And the thing is, you know, you've done all this stuff, you've taken on the coaching diploma, but what I'm getting from a lot of this is that everything was the right time. You know, everything was right. You know, you mentioned the universe as well, and that the universe has just let you. So I take it, you know, you do a lot of manifesting as well, right?
Yeah, I'm all about the manifesting. I'm being employed was the beginning of my sort of personal development journey. I suppose with network marketing, there's lots of sort of positivity and big company events, and you sort of it's almost sort of forced on you, isn't it? But what I've taken away from that is, even though I'm not necessarily involved in the company as heavily as I was anymore, I love the sort of personal development. And yeah, I'm fully believe in like the law of attraction, and I try to make time to do my gratitude each day and my affirmations and that kind of thing, although it's not always, you know, I try to be consistent. There's not always enough hours in the day, but I do think that even if it's something like while you're in the shower, say a few things out loud, like it's just getting into the habit of doing it, I think. You know, I'm not a massive one for giving people more things to do. Like when I'm working with clients, I try to find ways that we can lessen their load while still up leveling or achieving whatever they want to achieve. So having a 1 hour ritual in the morning of, you know, journaling and gratitudes and affirmations and meditation, and, you know, writing everything down, and, you know, sprinkling holy water all over the kitchen or whatever. I'm not a massive fan of, especially if you've got kids and stuff, it's not realistic. Everybody's got 5 minutes here and there, and everybody can shout out loud in the shower, or, you know, whatever it is, or just sometimes just take a breath. And if you're like having a cuddle with your child, or you're just washing up and you're looking at, you know, something out the window that's lovely, and just to actually take a second to acknowledge how lovely that view is, or how lovely that cuddle feels, is still going to put you in line with the universe. And it doesn't take any time. It's just about, I think it's just about awareness. But so many people aren't even aware of it.
Absolutely.
Like, they're not. I'd never heard of it until like 7 years ago. I wouldn't have known what the law of attraction was. It's so powerful.
It is.
So
it is. And what you're saying is, you know, it's just those, you know, those little moments, just like that kind of 5 minute to take a breath, you know, either, you know, just taking that 5 minute out. There's all sorts of stuff as well. You can like literally go onto YouTube and find like a 5 minute meditation or something like that. My child just walked in there. This is the thing about lockdown interviews, right? Children do walk in. But, you know,
that's fine.
These things sometimes, you know, make the work a little bit easier, don't they? It just gives you like a little bit of purpose, so to speak, as well. Especially, say, you know, like someone like you're just so, you know, you've got these businesses, you know, you're doing such amazing, wonderful work. And they're obviously large businesses as well. So what would you say to people who are taking that step? They want a larger business, and, you know, they may feel that they don't have the time for that. What would you say to those people?
I think it's really important to outsource what you can. And we hear this a lot, and I know that it's really scary to start doing it, because usually there's like a financial cost involved with outsourcing. But if I hadn't have promoted my, you know, Joe, who is now my team leader, to share the load with me, then I don't think I'd still be in business, because I couldn't have physically kept up with that level of, well, I did actually end up burning out. That's why I'm so passionate now about helping women, like with overwhelm and stuff, because I did burn out. I was poorly and I ended up in bed for a week with shingles because my body was screaming at me to slow down for months and I wouldn't listen. So if you are in even if it's something simple like outsourcing, like get an accountant if finances stress you out, like I literally couldn't think of anything worse than trying to do my own tax return. Like my fee for my accountant, as far as I'm concerned, is money well spent. You might love doing your own tax return, and if you do, then that's great, but you might hate social media, so you could outsource that, or you could outsource, like VAs do so much.
Agreed.
I suppose it depends for everyone's different business. Like sometimes if you are like doing something that can't be duplicated, for example, if you was an artist, then you can only, you are the only creator of your product. If you're not the only creator, like with my cleaning, for example, I could physically only clean for 6 hours a day. So I had to take on cleaners. Like you have to let go of that control. And if the first time a cleaner went out into somebody's house under my brand name, I was like, oh my God, what if they're rubbish? What if they're dishonest? What if they're late? What if they don't do a good job? You have to be sort of free to relinquish the control a little bit and accept the help. So if you're busy, like obviously I can't outsource my coaching, my mentoring, because there's only me that's got my sort of skills and my experience and my knowledge. But I can outsource other things that somebody else can do. So I think that's really, really key. Organisation's another key. Like sometimes it's really easy to think that you're too busy, but actually you're not as busy as you think you are, because you might be busying yourself doing stuff that actually doesn't really need doing, or it does maybe need doing but not right now, or it's not as important as you're making it. I think it's really interesting sometimes to take a step back and think, right, actually what have I done in the last 3 hours? Write it down. You probably haven't actually done that much, but you think that you're not like you. So actually when I had some coaching a few months ago, my coach said to me, write down everything that you do every half an hour for 3 days. And by the end of the first day, I knew what the point of the task was. It was to show me that I wasn't as busy as I thought I was. And when you start actually writing down what you're doing, there's a lot of pottering about. There's a lot of like scrolling through social media when you don't need to, which is obviously part of what we're here to talk about. Of I'll just empty the dishwasher, I'll just push the hoover around, does the hoover need pushing around, could you actually do something really productive? It's easy to think that you're busy when you're not, so I would say have a look actually your daily activities and prioritise a to-do list, even if it's only got a couple of things on. If you've got a list that you can tick off, you'll feel like you've achieved, rather than like if you're just sort of scrambling around surviving in sort of chaos mode day to day. You're probably achieving more than you realise, but you're not even letting yourself realise because you're not organised enough to know. But if you start the day with a to-do list, even if, like I said, it's got 2 or 3 things on, you get them ticked off, you're going to feel like you've achieved something rather than defeated and deflated at the end of the day.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
I love that. And it's so true. I do a to-do list, and then at the end of the month, usually 30 days, everything's done. So I just go back and go, okay, it's all right. It's all done anyway. And it's so good that you mentioned that, because mentioned how productive are you actually? Because sometimes we're not as productive as what we think we are, and as you said, we might go and load the dishwasher instead, or we might go and do something else. It's just so true. So tell us about, because obviously you've got a community and everything, and you're helping other people, and I take it you were helping other business owners as well. Am I right?
I mean, my coaching qualifications just allow coaching qualification. So if somebody that's not a business owner wants to work with me, then we absolutely can. But I think because most of the people know me as being a businesswoman and my experience is in business, then I suppose most of the people that come to me are business owners. But I'm just all about anybody move forward in whatever that means to them. It could be anything. So it's not exclusive to business owners, but I suppose that would be my niche.
But I like that. And not only what you just said then is, you know, about helping people move forward. And, you know, as you've mentioned before when we've spoken, you know, those, you know, making things easier for people. So not like giving someone like a really hard task to do, just like some easier steps, you know, just those easier moments, easier things that they can slot into their lives on a daily basis. And I think sometimes those things are more vital than the bigger stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think it's really, especially at the moment, everyone's just so in like survival mode. Everyone's being overwhelmed. And, you know, a lot of us have been thrown into homeschooling. Maybe our businesses are closed or trying to like find a way to, you know, pivot business so that we can still earn money. We're all like hanging on the Boris Johnson's every word, wondering what's going to happen next. Even without COVID or without these times, life is busy. Life is chaotic. This may sound a bit sexist, but I think especially for women over the last few decades, we've evolved because the cost of living is too expensive now. Most households need two incomes. Yeah. The 1950s sort of housewife doesn't exist anymore. Thank God it doesn't exist anymore, but that role isn't there anymore. Most women have to bring in an income, whether that's with a job or a business or something. But what hasn't quite evolved and caught up is the fact that women still are expected to do all the other stuff as well. So all the organising of the house, all the shopping, looking after the kids, sorting out the kids, cleaning, cooking, blah blah. And even what I've found with this situation with homeschooling, quite often, if I'm on a Zoom networking meeting or I'm on Zoom to a client or something, if there's a husband and a wife or a partner working at home, both of them are working from home, usually the man is like tucked away in his garden shed or in his office somewhere, living his best life, and the woman is working from home while downstairs with the kids, while homeschooling, while to still start lunches, doing the like cleaning and everything. And I just feel like there's enough to do already. So what I love is helping. Yeah, it's just crazy. Like it's so not fair. Like the men need to catch up a little bit. Like it's just a thought process. Like that a man wouldn't think to come home from work and think, oh, I'll just deep clean the bathroom because that hasn't been done all week. Where a woman has probably been thinking about the bathroom for half the afternoon. It's just the way that, like, it's just the way that it is. So I just feel passionately about helping people be less busy, finding ways that they can be productive and achieve. Like, so many women come to me and they're really like driven, ambitious, amazing, entrepreneurial women, but they're so frustrated and they feel like they're spinning all the plates and it's just so chaotic. And what I enjoy is helping them see ways to like can get a lot of this that they think that they should be doing or have to be doing, they can either get rid of, forget about it altogether, or outsource to somebody else. They take on a massive responsibility that they don't necessarily need to take on. So helping people be a bit more organised, but lessening the burden. Yeah. And I feel the same about social media actually as well. Like I'm all, especially if you've got a business, of social media. Like I'm really active on Facebook, dabble with a little bit of LinkedIn. I haven't really got time for the LinkedIn algorithm. And I've just set up, I've had Instagram for a personal account for years, but I've just set up literally a couple of weeks ago, one Instagram for my coaching. But I think that there's so much pressure to be like on all these different platforms. There's a new one now, isn't there? Clubhouse or something.
Yeah,
TikTok,
I'm in Clubhouse
like
as well.
if you've got time on TikTok, you've got. I say to people, you've got time to be on TikTok. You're not as busy as you. Seriously, with like Pinterest and Snapchat and Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. Who the hell has got time for Twitter? Like, come on.
But the thing is, I think there's just so many of them.
There's too many. I am literally like, So the first thing I say to clients that come to me that are, because you can literally just be overwhelmed with social media.
Yeah.
There's enough to be overwhelmed about in the real world without feeling overwhelmed about social media as well. So if it's a business woman or business person, the first thing I say is, where is your ideal client hanging out? Because like the reason why I've only just set up a business Instagram account is because before I started coaching, my main business was cleaning. People don't go to Instagram to look for a cleaner. They just don't. I go to Instagram for other stuff. Like I will probably get business coaching through Instagram, and Instagram is very visual. So if you are selling a physical product, clothing, beauty fast bombs, all that kind of like things that's easy on the eye, brilliant. Instagram, be all over it, learn it, and master it. But people don't go to Instagram for a cleaner, so I'm not going to spend loads of time posting about cleaning on Instagram.
Yeah.
I am active on Facebook for my cleaning business. I have loads of business through it. Like literally everyone wants a cleaner books on Facebook and anyone recommend a cleaner, and I get tagged in so many posts, like loads and loads and loads of clients come through Facebook recommendations, being tagged in, sharing my page onto like a page group. We've just been able to share our page onto one of the RAF sites in Lincolnshire. So now we're getting booked up for like the March out teams and stuff. So I obviously need to be on Facebook for that. But my ideal client isn't on TikTok. So I'm not going to spend time there. Your ideal client might be on TikTok. Like I don't know what people are selling. It depends. But somebody needs to know where your ideal. I always say, find out where your ideal client is if you don't already know, and master that channel, and enjoy it. You could enjoy it as well. I love Facebook, so I would never outsource my social media because I love it. If I hated it, I'd absolutely outsource it, because who's got time to be doing stuff they hate? Like not me, nobody. I hate accounts, that's why I outsource it. But it's horses for courses, isn't it? Everyone likes something different. Like most people don't like cleaning houses, so you don't need to be overwhelmed by thinking you need to be on and active and engaged in. Because this is the other thing, it's not just about having an account. This is why I can't keep with LinkedIn, because you have to be so engaged on LinkedIn to keep up with the algorithm. Otherwise LinkedIn won't let anyone see your post. I've tried to keep up with LinkedIn's algorithm. It's a full-time job for me. I physically can't do it. So I post it, once a day or once every couple of days, and I just leave it. And if no one sees my post, no one sees my post. I haven't got physical time. I know people that have built their whole business on LinkedIn.
Yeah, absolutely.
They get so many clients through LinkedIn. And that's amazing for them. Like, you've got a certain type of business, then absolutely master that algorithm and spend your time there. You may not need to be on Facebook so active, but trying to be engaged on every single channel is physically impossible.
It is
impossible to engage on every channel.
It is. And I think I think you hit the nail on the head. Purpose and intention. It's why you on that, as you said, you've got your cleaning business on Facebook. There's no point in it being on Instagram. Possibly the coaching will go better on Instagram. It's different places for different things. Like even with what we do here, it's almost like I advertise in different ways. So I schedule a lot of my posts and then make time then to go and speak to people. And you're so right. Different places are for different things and different people. And I go on TikTok, go have a bit of just to show the fun side. But my clients aren't there. My clients
Yeah.
aren't on TikTok, right? My clients aren't on TikTok, but it's nice to do a TikTok and then
To be
post it on
honest,
Facebook.
I haven't even got TikTok, so who am I to judge? I just feel like one more
No,
thing
I
I've
think it's
got to learn
brilliant.
how to do. And this Clubhouse, people keep asking me if I want an invite to Clubhouse. I'm like, no, I bloody don't. Another thing I have to learn.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
I'll probably learn Clubhouse in like 6 months' time when everyone else is coming off it.
I tell you what, because I weren't going to go on Clubhouse and I got an invite and I went on it, and actually it's, if you like listening, a lot of people like listening, don't they? I found it's very good because it's new. You're actually connecting with people you weren't able to be able to connect with usually on Instagram or anywhere else. So it is actually a fairly good platform, but it can, like any platform, be overwhelming in the sense that you know, you can go into big rooms full of hundreds of people and feel like, you know, like small fish in there, but then you've got these smaller rooms with people, and people are just going on there who've got like really great profiles, and these smaller rooms are just really great for just, you feel like you're almost networking again, just this beautiful networking. So I found it works for me.
Embrace it for the coaching.
Yeah,
probably do need to learn to embrace it for the coaching side, but I just feel like it's another thing that I have to try and master as well as do everything else. I
know what you mean.
I'll get there. I'm always late to every party. Honestly, I've only just got myself a Kindle. So out of date.
But you're not out of date. The thing is, right?
I'm the only person in the world that hasn't got an eBay account.
But
sorry,
you know,
excuse my dog.
Oh, you know what? This is the great thing about doing these interviews. The thing is, right? It's so, and I think we need to celebrate this. We're in the positions that we're in, and we're doing great as we are. Do you know what I mean? We don't even need to be everywhere if we don't have to be. And I think that is just the beauty of, you know, of our businesses. We don't always have to be everywhere. And I think what's so beautiful about having this conversation with you, like, you've got this plethora of knowledge, right? And you've got, you know, beautiful family and everything, and you're just doing such wonderful stuff for other people. You're, you know, I would say you're Superwoman. You're just doing like all this great stuff for people and helping people.
Oh, bless
and I
you.
think
Thank you.
And I think that's the, you know, that's the greatest thing about having this interview with you.
It's totally selfish. I did a post on my group the other day because I've been criticised occasionally for my coaching price point and being too low, but I'm more than happy with it, and I actually love the coaching. It gives me like so much joy, so much of a buzz, and I'm like, I want to work with more people and charge less than charge like twice as much, but work with half the amount of people for the same money, because it, like, selfishly, it like fills my cup as well. So I just feel like I'm getting paid to do something that I love. So I'd love to have more clients. That's the way that I've it. So yeah, it's totally selfish, self-indulgent, and like work for me, because I just love it. I get so much gratification especially when you get like clients messaging you saying that, like, they're really happy that they've achieved this, or they've had a breakthrough, or they've like improved something, and like, yeah, I love it.
And that's because you were really good at what you do as well. You know, you're doing, like, it's such a great job for everyone. Can you tell everyone where we can find you?
So where you can find me, so I've obviously got my Facebook, like, personal page, just Victoria Gregory. I've got a free group called Victoria Gregory Business and Beyond, and that is literally just sort of, it's quite personal. It's not that businessy. I obviously do like promote my coaching and mentoring a bit in there, but it's more sort of like personal stuff that I wouldn't necessarily share on my personal profile. And then I've got a I have got a subscription group as well, which is 19 quid a month, which I think is an absolute bargain. That's full of like content and tasks and hints and tips. So it's basically diluted coaches, like my mentoring and my coaching, because it's in a group environment. So it's obviously not one-to-one prices. And then my Instagram is called Victoria Gregory Coach and Mentor, I think.
I love it.
And then if you want to find me on LinkedIn, it's Victoria Gregory again, but I'm not that active on there. Best place to reach me is probably Facebook, I reckon.
Well, what we'll do is we'll make sure that Victoria's links are down, up above, below, wherever it appears on here. But we'll make sure that her links are there and you can reach out to her, because, you know, if you're in the sense of you need like someone to help you a little bit more, but also you don't want to like kind of overload yourself with like even more big tasks or lots and lots of stuff to do, you know, Victoria is going to be really great just giving you just those smaller things and just make life just 10 times easier. So do reach out to her below. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Oh, thanks for inviting me. I've loved it.
Oh, you know what? I've loved having a chat with you. And I'm sure we'll be chatting again.
You.
Oh, thank you very much, everyone, for watching. Well, we'll be back next week, 12:30 on Friday, and every week after that. But I'll see you very soon. Bye.